ladies and gentlemen. Yes, you heard me correctly. It is morning rather than evening for once. It is daylight outside. It's actually a Sunday. So, episode 3 of GTC RESTOMOD, I guess it's now called. Where do we get to in the last one? Let's have a quick recap. So, engine is out, gearbox is out. We've finished stripping all the last tiny little bits and pieces of the engine bay, so it's looking really nice and bare in here now. The only things we haven't taken out, like I said, is the suspension, the running gear, the steering rack, and the brake booster servo and master cylinder, because that's just going to be a bit of a pain in the arse, and we're short on time, to be perfectly honest. So we can work around those things. Is my feeling on that. So what we're going to do today, because it is daylight, we have started stripping. I've got this door completely stripped now, as you can see. This is all the locks are out, the window mechanism and everything is all out of the inside, the mirror, etc. all stripped off. So I've obviously got to strip the other side, strip some of the interior, strip the hood, and strip all the rear bumper and bits and pieces off the back of it. But that's the sort of stuff I can do in the evening. It is daylight and it's decent weather, so I'd say it's good weather. It's not good weather, it's decent, it's alright. So we're going to start on scraping some of the mountains of shit that has caked on over the last 40 years on the bottom of this car. As I showed you in a previous video, and as you can probably see down there, it's sort of like 4 or 5 mil thick worth of crap in places. So that is what we're going to start with today. So I've got a couple of murder suits and big disposable overalls. Plan is one of those is for today and one of those is when I dispose of the wife later on in the week. I went and bought myself a new little sprayer applicator bottle that I can mix up some heavy duty degreaser and start spraying. Basically you roll it out into the driveway, jack it up, probably get the scraper on there first and scrape a load of the stuff off from underneath it, and then spray the degreaser on it all over, and then get the old jet wash out and give it a good old spray and see what happens. Basically, see how clean we can get it, and then roll it back in, start stripping the doors and stuff off, and get ready for paint next weekend. So we've got 6 days before it goes off to the paint shop, so plenty to do. So I'm going to go and get myself a Sunday beer, roll the car out, jack it up, stop waffling and crack on. Feel like I'm signing out of Dexter. Right, suited, booted, let's crack on. So then try number 2 because all my batteries were flat. It's cold, in case you couldn't tell this evening. It's quite cold, isn't it? You cold over there?
Actually quite. I've got this nice thick fleece on. It's actually quite toasty.
Quite nice and warm. We've got to have the door open this evening. Oh, not even in it. We've got to have the door open this evening because we're working on the rear axle. So last bit you would have seen, obviously, was me last Sunday in my white overalls. Excuse me, white overalls, laying underneath the car, cleaning all the mountains of shit off of it. Literally scraping it off, like it was coming off thick. Anyway, scraped all that off. I'll show you under there in a minute. As we got to the back of the car, it became quite clear that the front of the car was definitely the better half. The back is quite crusty. Now, there's no rot. That's the good thing. There's no rot. There's no holes. There's no welding needed. But everything is crusty. It just needs stripping, cleaning, repainting, etc, etc. So we have this evening jacked said car in the air, got underneath it, and we're just going to start dropping the 4 links and the watts and everything off the back of it, and drop the old axle out. If I come round here, I've got the lights down here so you'll be able to see. Obviously we've got the old greasy pig's head, same as it was previously, but you can see it's all just a bit crusty back here. You can see now that I've cleared most of the crap off and it's had time to dry, we've got some surface rust on the chassis, but again, nothing terrible. So we'll get all that scrubbed up, but I can't get up in here to clean all this and clean all that and whatever else with the tank and the back end in the way. And like I say, this is all a bit crusty, so it kind of defeats the object of trying to clean it all up to paint it all if we're just going to bolt a crusty back end. Crusty back end? Oh. Not sure if that's the right phrase. Crusty rear diff back on. So yeah, that's what we're going to do this evening. Get this stripped off and go from there. Right, crack on then, I suppose, haven't we? Yep. There's more of that dodgy. There's more of that dodgy wiring up there. Look, we got a some chock block there, some domestic wiring chock block. Very nice, very nice. Right, let's crack on. Right, bit of rolling around on the floor. Oh, blinding myself with the light now, can't actually see. Bit of rolling around on the floor for what we had, a couple of hours on it, do you reckon?
Just about kind of 2 hours, I reckon.
2 hours.
Not bad.
About 2 hours, considering we had crusty bolts. Not too bad.
And it was on the floor, so.
And yeah, so we've got that last little shackle bolt coming off, and we can drop them out, and then in theory, the whole axle will drop down and out. Theory is a wonderful thing.
Well, she's balanced on the trolley jack, so.
That's it, that's all the way out now. So if we just hit that with a hammer and a screwdriver on both sides. Right, I'm going to put you down so I can catch this axle in case it falls out.
She should be good.
Good old bit of rust coming out of that. Actually got bits of rust falling off of it now.
Anyway, they're not my neighbours.
No, they're not. They're not mine either, to be fair.
There you go.
The old man has got a fucking bear with him, though.
I mean, you've had the Fiesta here for God knows how long, so.
Okay. Moment of truth then, eh?
Yeah, I was just try that. Watch it.
There she goes.
Got it?
Yeah.
Alright, just watch because we're going to catch on the back of that. Oh, steady mate.
Alright, drop it down then.
Just catch on the back of that. watts.
Yeah, go on. It should be home dry now, home and free. It's all yours. That's it, tug it backwards. I don't always lay down on the job, honest. So, right, I've just finished stripping off. It didn't actually take, it took 10-15 minutes. We've stripped off the rear shocks. Stripped off the linkages from the front of the chassis there, taken off the little shackles that go across the bottom, etc. Stripped it right the way back down. These little bars here I can't get undone without unbolting the seats from inside, so I might work around them or I might take the interior out, not decided yet. But yeah, as you can see, now that everything's out, you see it's all just a little bit crusty, especially back here, all up here, stuff flaking off of it, just rubbing it with your glove. So the plan is, that's gone straight in my eye. The plan is, in the next video, I'm going to mask myself up and get under here with a number of wire brush attachments, I guess. Best way to do it, isn't it, I think?
I think so.
So, hang on. Let's do it like this. There we go. Yeah, so I think we're just going to get underneath here, mask up, glove up, goggles up, go over the whole thing with a wire brush. Still need to like jet wash all this shit. Look at this. Oh my god! Look at that. Look at this shit here. This is obviously where the diff's been leaking. And it's just spun round and like just been flicking it all up the inside. Years and years and years of shit. So I still need to clean all that off. The underside of the fiberglass body, apart from where it was very badly painted previously and it's got overspray on it, is actually in pretty good condition. So I'm not going to do anything other than clean that up. I'm not going to paint over it again. I'm just going to clean all that up and then mask it off. And then for the chassis itself, we were just talking about someone, I'll show you this side actually. A previous owner in a previous life has, bring the lights around here, has started having a go at some point. You see this side's been like brushed on hammerite.
It's hammerite, don't we?
Or the equivalent, you know, brushed on hammerite or whatnot, but never actually bothered to get up into the places where it mattered. So, also looks like the fuel sender boot's fucking melting. It looks wonderful. So yeah, someone's kind of had a go at it, but not done the best. So that's the plan. Strip all that back, and then we're discussing what we're going to probably do it with. It's either going to be some sort of stone chip or Raptor, something along those lines. I'll work out what I'm going to use as and when. The other thing we have managed to work out, let me just get out from underneath the car. Yes please, if you wouldn't mind. That's grip. You take that. I'm out one here. Yeah, the other thing that we have just about worked out is that we think the Watts linkage, the Watts linkage is, that's better. The Watts linkage is seized in the middle, i.e. like it doesn't fucking move at all. But also, the reason we found it is because the shock is bent. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's like a fucking banana. This is the worst one. That one's not so bad. But yeah, when you roll this one along the floor, you can quite clearly see that the shock is bent. Like that's absolutely.
No, that's the worst one.
Is that the worst one?
Yeah. So that's.
Oh, well, they're both
I've just
completely
moved
fucked
them.
then.
So that's
That one's completely.
driver's side.
Well,
That's
they're both
side.
fucked, then, aren't they?
Yeah.
So yeah, they're both bent. So basically, I think what's been happening, obviously, where the Watts linkage is seized, the only give, or the weakest link, is the pistons on the shocks. So it has had new shocks at some point, and I wonder whether the originals were bent because that Watts linkage was seized, and whoever did it just changed the shocks, thinking that was the problem solved, not actually realising what the root cause was. So rebuild the Watts, get some new shocks. I mean, or I could send them off to Gaz and have them rebuilt, I suppose.
Might well have a chat with them. See what
At least ask them for a cost, see what it is. I mean, can't see them being overly expensive,
have a chat with them first.
but have a look and see. Strip the axle. It's just a lot of stripping and cleaning to do now with where we're at. We have got a little bit more time now though, because the car is not going for paint when we said it was going for paint. Actually looks like we're going to be using a different person to do the paint now, after an incident with the last lot. So we have got a little bit more time to clean everything out and get things all sorted. So a few more late evenings. But I'm going home for a bath. I might even go home for a beer. I did have quite a lot of beer last night. I don't know about a beer. I don't know. But on that note, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Ta-da.